turning to something unfortunately deadly serious. It's time for the final call. On this date, February 25th, 2022, police officer Jorge David Alvarado Jr. of the Salinas Police Department, California, was shot and killed during a traffic stop near the intersection of Griffin Street and East Market Street. The driver of the vehicle he had stopped immediately got out of his vehicle and opened fire on Officer Alvarado before he exited his cruiser. Officer Alvarado returned fire from inside his car, wounding the suspect before he was mortally wounded. The man was taken into custody a short time later. He was convicted of first-degree murder, shooting at an occupied motor vehicle, assault on a peace officer with a semi-automatic firearm, unlawful firearm possession, and carrying a loaded firearm. Officer Alvarado was a U.S. Army veteran and had served with the Salinas Police Department for 2 years. He had previously served with the Colma Police Department for 4 years. He is survived by his mother, brother, and fiancé. Also, on this date, February 25th, 1994, Officer Kenneth Wallace, Hampton Police Department, Virginia, succumbed to gunshot wounds sustained 4 days earlier when he was shot by 3 subjects who ambushed him as he sat in his patrol car near 215 Pocahontas Place. 4 suspects, including 2 juveniles, were arrested several days later. It was later discovered that even though all 3 of the subjects fired into the vehicle, only 2 .380 caliber bullets fired by the adult suspect struck Officer Wallace. It was also determined that the adult suspect had actually intended to shoot another Hampton police officer who had arrested his brother earlier that night. The adult was sentenced to death for the murder and was executed by lethal injection on November 9th, 1999, the 2 juvies were convicted of murder and sentenced to 13 years in prison. A 4th suspect who did not fire a gun was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Both juvenile suspects were paroled in 2004. In January of 2006, one of them was sent back to prison for 30 years for violating his parole. September of 2007, the other suspect violated the terms of his release. Officer Wallace had served with the Hampton PD for 7 years. He was survived by his daughter, fiancé, parents, grandmothers, and sister. And please stick with me for one more, too many to mention on this date, but February 25th, 1898, Patrolman Lewis Keller of the South Bend Police Department, Indiana, was shot and killed when he interrupted a burglary in progress at a cigar store while walking his beat and checking buildings. At 11:35 p.m., he spotted an open door, and as he entered the business, a shot was fired at him. He returned fire, and in the ensuing shootout, both he and one of the suspects were mortally wounded. 4 other suspects were apprehended. 1 suspect was sentenced to life in prison in 1898. In 1904 and 1917, he attempted to escape. Patrolman Keller was a Civil War veteran serving with the 21st Indiana Battery. Returning home from war, he served in law enforcement as a deputy marshal and then served with the South Bend Police Department for 11 years. He was survived by his wife and 2 sons. His brother had served with the South Bend Police Department, and one of his sons served with the Metropolitan Police Department. May they all continue to rest in peace.